Right. So what this is all about is finding great deals without doing any seller advertising. So you can basically do anything you want with it at that point. If you want to wholesale it, you can wholesale it. If you want to, do the BRRRR strategy, you can do that, where you purchase it at a discount, you rehab it, get it rented, and then you refinance. And you're hoping to have very little money into the deal by the time you refinance. I can discuss that strategy in more detail if you'd like. You can do a fix and flips. You can do lease options. You can do all kinds of stuff. There are many, many ways that you can invest in real estate, but pretty much all of them are going to require you to get a good deal. And the great thing is you don't have to do it with seller advertising. You can literally find as many deals as you can possibly handle without doing any advertising at all. So what the other guys teach, so like the wholesaling gurus, and a lot of this stuff, by the way, that I'm going to talk about, I may mention wholesaling, but these strategies are going to work for the other stuff too. So don't worry. If I say wholesaling and you're like, well, I'm a fix and flip person, or I'm looking to acquire rentals, it doesn't matter. This works for any of that. So you can always substitute the word wholesaling for something else. But what the other, what the wholesaling gurus teach is to spend tens of thousands of dollars in marketing each month to find these, quote unquote, motivated sellers. So this could be stuff like postcards, letters, bandit signs, PPC, Facebook ads, text marketing, RVM. I mean, there's tons and tons of different ways that you can advertise, and they all recommend, spending a ton of money and a ton of time advertising to these motivated sellers. The truth is that less than 5% of these sellers are actually motivated. So you end up wasting a ton of time. So with buyer first wholesaling, once again, you can use this for pretty much any strategy, but you can consistently do $10,000 wholesale deals. You don't have to waste your time or money advertising to these sellers. In fact, the industry average is 45 seller leads per deal. So think about that. That's 45 different sellers that you have to talk to for just one deal. Not only that, but the average cost is $3,600 that is spent in marketing for this deal. So you're spending you're spending time to talk to 45 different sellers. You might be going on 15 appointments for that. So you're just wasting a ton of time, and you're spending $3,600 per deal. So I'm going to show you how you can get incredible deals that are delivered directly to you, so you don't have to worry about that. Also, I just wanted to throw this out. Stick around at the end till the very end, because I do have a bonus that I think you guys are really going to like. It's something that you might as well take advantage of. By the way, it is free. So before you start thinking about that, it literally is free, but it's a pretty cool bonus at the end. So just a quick background about me. I have successfully completed hundreds of these massively profitable wholesale deals. I created a business that provides me with freedom, a business that serves me instead of me being a servant to my business. One thing that I like to do is I really like traveling. So this allows me to travel frequently. And the great thing is I can do these deals from anywhere in the world. I do a lot of deals in my local St. Louis market, but the vast majority of them I never see in person. It's kind of rare, especially on a wholesale deal, that I will actually physically see the property in person. So you can do this from anywhere. Now, for me, it hasn't always been this way. I tried what those gurus are teaching. I tried their model. So I built up this team. I was spending tens of thousands of dollars each month advertising to these motivated sellers. Now, we were doing deals. I had a full-time assistant. I had multiple acquisition managers, and myself, and we were doing deals. But the problem was the money was going out just as fast as it came in. And I kept thinking that there has to be a better way to do this. So I remember, I will never forget this. There was one day, and this is with having a team build up, and we were doing quite a few deals. And I had this team build up, and I remember getting an email from my bank. And so it was account alert, balance below $25. So at this point, I had been in real estate for quite a while. I had a team working for me. We were doing a lot of deals, and all of a sudden I was broke. I was literally broke. I felt terrible. I was deflated, embarrassed. I felt very defeated. I was really, really close to just giving up at that point. I knew that I was going to have to make some very large changes in order to be able to stay in business. So I knew it was going to be time to reevaluate literally everything that I was doing. So one thing that I realized right off the bat is that my overhead was out of control. Now, it wasn't from frivolous spending. It really was not at all. It was, the things that, most gurus will teach you that you have to spend money on. One thing that I noticed was that my marketing costs were insane. I was spending $10,000 a month in marketing alone, just marketing costs. So I started thinking, I was like, how can I eliminate as much overhead as possible? Of course, then my concern is, if I don't spend money on seller advertising, how am I going to get deals? So what I did is I went back to the beginning. When I very first got started, I had I had this one guy who would send me a lot of deals. He consistently got deals. And what I would do is I would sell them for him. So I had great buyers. He had the deals, I had the buyers. And it was fantastic because I had virtually no overhead with this. I wasn't spending any money marketing to sellers. I was spending very little money marketing to buyers. I was spending some money, but not a ton. Just way less than what I was spending on seller marketing. So we just were able to kind of partner together. He would bring the deal, I would bring the buyer. It just worked very smoothly. We both were able to profit from it, and it worked out, really well. It was because I had like no overhead. It was highly profitable for me. In fact, I actually remember I was maybe a year removed from college at this point, and I had been doing these wholesale deals with this guy. And I remember one time looking at my bank account that had virtually no money in it after college. And I remember looking at it at one point, and it was I think $85,000 that were actually in my bank account. So my revenue was even higher than that, but I'm talking about money in my bank account from doing these deals. And for someone that's a decent amount of money for someone straight out of college. So they're really profitable deals. And so what made me think about that is I realized, there are tons of great deals out there. And what happened is I was focusing all of my attention when I was doing all the seller advertising, I was focusing my attention on those. So I was spending 10 grand a month. So when I got a seller lead, I was highly motivated to work that lead or have my acquisition managers work that lead. And remember, you got 95% of these sellers aren't motivated. So I'm missing all of these other great deals that other people are selling because I'm focused solely on the ones that we are spending, all of this seller marketing on. Now, so one wholesalers make for great motivated sellers. I mean, think about it. They have a very small time frame to be able to sell the property. Otherwise, they lose it or they could potentially lose their earnest money. I mean, they just don't have very long to work with. So wholesalers actually become a great motivated seller that you don't have to advertise to. And these are deals that you can get for free. By the way, I'm going to explain how to actually do this. I just wanted to give you a little bit of backstory to tell you how I got here, but I am going to give you details, step-by-step details on how to actually get more leads than you can handle for free. So buyer first wholesaling, it's a strategy that I continue to use this day. I still don't do any seller advertising. I haven't done seller advertising in years. I have $0 that I spend on marketing to these homeowners. I work closely with select buyers, and I get these deals through. So there's three main sources really. It's wholesalers, Facebook groups, and real estate agents. So this once again says who wants to be a wholesaler. If you want to wholesale, that's great. I love wholesaling. If you want to do fix and flips or buy rentals, this works for that as well. But ask yourself, Colin, do you want to spend tens of thousands of dollars per month looking for these unicorns? Do you want to talk to 45 different sellers for each deal? That is that's a huge time commitment to talk to that many different sellers. Do you want to get calls from these angry sellers that are screaming at you to take their name off their list? Or do you want to consistently do $10,000 wholesale deals without wasting any time or money talking to these homeowners? You get great deals delivered directly to you with sellers begging you to help them find a solution. So for me, the choice was obvious. It was the second option. So for finding deals, once again, I don't do any seller advertising because only 5% of them of sellers are actually motivated. It takes 45 seller leads per deal, $3,600 in marketing costs. So what if you could find these deals without wasting any of that time or money? So here are my sources for finding properties. So it's wholesalers, Facebook groups, and agents. I'm going to break all of these down in exactly. You may think, if you've been doing this for a while, you may think this is pretty basic, but once I break it down, I get into a little more detail, and it's highly effective. So the first one is wholesalers. So you can simply Google phrases like "we buy houses for cash" and enter your market. So for me, it's St. Louis. We buy houses for cash, St. Louis. Cash offer for my house, St. Louis. So you're going to want to, do obviously your own market, but just play around with words. Cash offers, we buy houses, need to sell my house fast for cash, stuff like that. So you want to Google those phrases. And then what's going to pop up? You're going to get websites for, all of these wholesalers or these wholesaling companies. And so you want to make sure to get on all of their buyer lists. So enter your phone number and your email address on their site. Now this is huge. So once you start receiving properties from them and you have an actual phone number for them, you want to save them in your phone as, enter their name. So like John, so John Smith Wholesaler. And this is key right here. It's all about the follow-up. So you want to text them weekly asking what they have for sale. Now, these wholesalers right here that I'm describing, they're going to have very large buyers lists, so you're going to have more competition. This is kind of the low-hanging fruit. You could definitely still do deals with them, but you will have competition from quite a few other investors. But like I said, you can still definitely do deals with them. They're not necessarily the best option, but they're still a good one. Now you see what I have down there below is text them weekly asking what they have for sale. So I work closely with several hedge funds. So these are institutional buyers that purchase a lot of properties. One of them, they purchase at least 30 properties per month, at least 30 per month, which is just insane. So this guy, he texts me multiple times every week. Hey, what do you have for me to look at this week? Hey, do you have anything? Just a simple text like that. Doesn't have to be elaborate or anything. Just, hey, do you have anything new this week? Do you have anything for me to look at? This guy works for a company that's doing over 30 deals a month. So that's, almost 400 a year. They're texting me at least twice a week asking what I have available. So that's really important. So make sure you're saving them. Anyone you talk to, save them in your phone with the tag. So, John Smith, and make sure you put wholesaler at the end of it. Now, once you go so after you start doing this for a while and you go to your contacts, when you go to send a message, you can type out the word wholesaler and it's going to pull up every contact that you have saved as a wholesaler. So if you just make note where maybe once a week, twice a week, it can be the same time every week as well if you want, that you're going to text every single one of those wholesalers that you haven't, in your phone to see what they have available. That's going to be huge for you. Think about when they get a property for sale, who's going to be the first person that they come to? Is it going to be someone that, signed up for their email list 3 months ago that's never responded to any of the properties they sent out? Or is it going to be someone that, hey, I hear from this person 3 times a week, like they really want to buy properties? You are going to be the first person they think about. So you're going to go to the top of their list. So that's what you can do with wholesalers, with the Facebook groups. So search for on Facebook, search for terms like real estate investing and then your market, real estate investors, your market. And for like St. Louis, you can do STL, you can do St. Louis. So just type as many different phrases and as many different variations of essentially the same thing as possible and join all of those groups. Join as many as you possibly can. Then you're going to look at, whenever a property gets posted for sale, you're going to comment on that post and you're going to put your email address in the comment section along with sending them a private message. It's very important to do both of those. When you include your email address on there, other wholesalers are going to see that and they're going to start adding you to their buyers list. So you're going to get on other people's lists, which is what you want. The whole goal of this is to get as many properties sent to you as possible. You want as many good deals as you possibly can handle. So you want to get on everyone's list. So publicly include your email address so you can get on with everyone else. But then you want to make that personal connection with them. So send them a private message on Facebook. What I will do is I will literally copy and paste their post. And I will say, hey, saw this post. Can I have more details on the property? Something along, those lines. You also want to then tell them that you're a cash buyer who can close quickly and to tell them to, send you all of the properties that they're trying to sell. And then you want to ask for their phone number. So once again, you can save it in your phone as so-and-so wholesaler. And these are the people. So the wholesalers that I mentioned before, the ones that are going to like pop up on Google, they're going to be the first, couple results on Google. They're going to have huge buyers list. These people in the Facebook groups, not all of them are going to have massive, buyers list like this. So a lot of times you're going to have a lot less competition that you're dealing with for the deals that they're selling. So make sure to do all of those things. So whenever they post a property for sale, put your email address in the comment section, send them a private message and tell them, you're a cash buyer, ask for details on the deal and everything. And then the third thing is to ask for their phone number so you can save it in your phone as wholesaler. And then remember, every, once a week or twice a week, you're going to text every wholesaler, everyone in your phone that has a tag of wholesaler, you're going to text them, hey, what do you have? Do you have anything new? Do you have any properties for me to look at? Something along those lines. But follow up is really, really important. Remember, like I said, these wholesalers, most of them are not going to have nearly the list that some of the other ones do. And if you're hitting them up constantly, a lot of times you might be like the one of a couple people that's looking at this. You might, have direct access to something that most people do not, that they haven't publicly posted anywhere else. Now, the third way is through agents. This is the third way of getting deals. So what you can do is buy a list of agents in your area through Dr. Bill. So if you just search for this, search for Dr. Bill, you can get a list of all the real estate agents in your area. So you can do it. You can buy a nationwide list. You're probably really not going to want to unless you're, buying and wholesaling nationwide. But you can buy it by county. You can buy it by city. There's a lot of different options that you can do on there. But the list is very affordable, especially if you're, say only working in like one county. It's really not that expensive. And you get a massive list of all of the agents in your area. So then what you're going to do is text them through a texting platform. Now, one that I like, it's Roar, it's ROOR. I like it because it's one of the cheaper ones out there. You can get 25,000 text credits for $500. 25,000 for $500. So it's very, very affordable, and that's going to allow you to reach out to anyone you possibly need. So then your initial text to these agents could say something along the lines of, "Do you ever come across distressed properties? I'm a cash buyer." Now, you don't want to use that exact verbiage because carriers are going to start to block the text. So If everybody's using the same thing, they probably just won't get it. So you just got to be creative here, but you really just want to start the conversation. That is the goal of texting. The goal of texting them is to simply start the conversation. If you have an agent then that expresses any interest, they ask, are you an investor, anything like that. Basically, any response besides them, telling you to screw off, you want to go ahead and try to get on a phone call with them as soon as possible. This is huge. Like, relationships are so important, and a phone call, spending 15 minutes talking to them, introducing yourself, telling them that you're a cash buyer, telling them all this, it's going to go a long way, a lot further than just a couple of messages will. So I highly recommend to get on a phone call with them. So the way that I look at it is through the texting platform. That's just kind of a way of weeding people out. It's weeding out people who might not have any interest. So instead of having to cold call every single person on there, which by the way, you certainly can do. You can certainly still cold call these agents. But for me, I personally like to do a little bit of a weeding system through texting. And then if there's interest after that, then I would go ahead and jump on a phone call with them. So you're just, telling them that you're looking for distressed properties. Agents do not want to list these really distressed properties. They're typically used to working with ones that, it's owner occupied, and they're going to list it on the market for sale to another owner occupant because it doesn't need a lot of work. So when they get a distressed property, something that needs a lot of work, a lot of times they will just sell it. It's called a pocket listing. So they'll actually sell it off market. They won't list it on the MLS. They want to list the properties on the MLS that need absolutely no work and that are selling for full retail value. So the distressed stuff, those are the ones that you want them to send to you. Now, they're going to want to make sure that they get paid. That's going to be important to them. So what you'll tell them is, hey, if the seller is not paying your commission, I am more than happy to pay it. Just let me know ahead of time so I can take that into consideration for my numbers. But you want to present yourself as a person who is going to make their life easier. You're going to provide them with a quick cash offer with no contingencies. So for them, that means, hey, I get paid a lot quicker. I don't have to deal with a ton of hassle on this property that needs a lot of work. So all they have to do is simply send it to you and you can get them an offer. So it's a lot less work for them. And it works out for both parties. This is a way that you can get fantastic deals. Because agents, of course, are coming across people that are wanting to sell their properties all the time. And the reality is, not all of them are going to be retail ready, that they're going to want to list on the MLS. So if they have someone that's their go-to person where they know, hey, if I send this property to Justin, he's going to give me a cash offer very quickly, and we're going to be able to get a deal done. I'm going to be able to get paid in 2 weeks. That makes them very happy. So they don't know what else to do with these leads. So you want to reach out to them, build as many agent relationships as you possibly can. Same thing with the wholesalers. You want to save them in your phone as so-and-so, so John Smith agent. And you're going to text them weekly to see if, hey, have you got any new, distressed properties or any properties, any pocket listings, any properties that, you're not listing on the MLS. So save them in your phone as agent and follow up. That's crucial with all of this is your follow up. You can have a great conversation with an agent and they're all excited, but if you never reach back out to them, they're going to forget about you relatively quickly. But if you continue to follow up, then you're going to put yourself ahead of everyone else. So make sure that you're doing that. You can even set like an alarm on your phone, every Tuesday at a certain time, or every Tuesday and Thursday, or Monday, Thursday, whatever. You can make them set times, but just set that reminder and make sure you are following up. So everyone that you have listed in your phone as a wholesaler that has that tag of wholesaler, or everyone that has that tag of agent, you want to make sure to continue to follow up with them. Remember that I promise you that this guys, this stuff really works. And the proof is with not only my own experience, but you've got hedge funds that are purchasing over 30 properties a month, and they're not doing any advertising. They're doing none of that. In fact, one of them in the St. Louis market, they're buying at 70% of ARV, which is what we are trying to buy at as investors. So it's not like their criteria is just really easy to hit. And that's the reason that they're buying so many properties. That's not the case. Their criteria is actually relatively hard to hit. But what they're doing is they are following up and they're reaching out to these contacts that they have. They're reaching out to wholesalers and they're reaching out to agents and they're being consistent about it. Consistency is key. They're being consistent and they're reaching out and consistently asking, hey, do you have any inventory? Do you have any properties for sale? And that's how, they're able to do the volume that they do. So quick recap is you can get all the deals that you can handle without spending any money advertising to these, quote unquote motivated sellers. You're going to get your properties from wholesalers, Facebook groups, and agents. And follow up is key. Make sure you are saving them into your cell phone with the appropriate tags, and then reach out to them. So here's a bonus for you guys. If you found any of this information valuable at all, I am offering a free coaching and consultation call. So I really truly want to be able to help you guys. I know it's like I've been on both sides of this, and so this presentation right here, this group presentation, it's great because I'm offering a lot of information. But what I'm going to do on the coaching or consultation call is that's going to be one-on-one, and I'm going to look for your specific needs. So what are your goals? Are you looking to acquire rentals? Are you looking to wholesale? How much are you looking to make? Why are you looking to make that? What are you really looking for? And so I'm going to dig pretty deep and try to help you out in any way that I can. So we'll be able to have that full, I've got an hour set aside for each call. So I want to truly help out in any way that I can. And space is truly limited. I mean, I don't have that much. I can't just constantly do this, for free. So space is limited. If you're interested in this, once again, this is 100% free, and I will try to help you out in any way that I can, figure out, what your particular needs, wants, struggles, all of that are, and see if there's anything I can do to help. Head over to it's buyerfirstwholesaling.com, buyerfirstwholesaling.com. I've got the link on there, and just schedule your call. So you can, if you go on there, which by the way, feel free to head over right now. You're not going to offend me by doing that, while during the presentation. Head over there and you'll be able to tell that there's only, I think, less than 2 weeks left for these calls. So it truly is limited. But head over there, buyerfirstwholesaling.com. It's pretty easy to get on the schedule. You just literally have to, I mean, it takes 30 seconds or less to get on the schedule. And then I would love to be able to have a conversation with you where we can actually talk one-on-one, and I'll see if there's anything I can do to help. But that is all I have, guys.